Welcome to Guardians of Gaia full moon gathering on this Wesak full moon from Aotearoa. And it's wonderful that all of you could make this in person. And welcome to those that will join us energetically in the time to come. Let us begin by aligning our bodies and harmonizing the field. If you're feeling a bit out of sorts or disconnected, I invite you to stand up, sound, breathe, and move throughout this first part of this process. As we align our physical, mental, and emotional bodies, with all-pervading soul, higher self, and oversoul. Depending upon where you are on your journey, you may wish to sink a luminous thread from your root to your base, your womb space, down through the floor, the soils, the sands, the bedrock, the artesian waters, into the molten core of the heart of Gaia. And inhaling those primordial energies up through the feet, the legs, the thighs, the hips, into the pelvic bowl, into the root, the base, the womb space, and expanding with sound. Oh. Inhaling up once more through the root, the base, the womb space, into the belly, into the Cusco, and expanding with sound. Ah. And inhaling next, time through the root, the base, the womb, to the belly, into the heart, and expanding with your unique sound, song, and soul signature. Ah. Developing a sound footprint, moving through the divergent meridians of the planetary body and the primordial elemental energies and their elemental and infinite potential. And inhaling those energies up through your unique pillar, cleansing, clearing, and purifying. Regenerating, rejuvenating, and recalibrating. All the way up and activating the soul star, 1 foot above the head, and inviting in the celestial energies to meet with the terrestrial energies. So that they may feed us, nourish us, fuel us, and strengthen our own toroidal fields as we harmonize our toroidal field with the toroidal field of the planetary body, so that we may become one. Oh. Surrendering through the core of Source in the heart of Gaia, where the new earth architecture emerges. You may wish to visualize the planetary body within the pelvic bowl and allow yourself to soften and surrender into that space, to know that we are loved unconditionally and that we are supported throughout the seen and unseen realms. Deepening into our parasympathetic nervous system. And let that become our new modus operandi for our walk in the world, our service. to our planet and humanity and all living beings. Surrendering through the core of Source in our own heart spaces. Surrendering into that deep unconditional love of self. So that all our thoughts, words, and actions may be aligned and come through the heart. What would love say? What would love do? Surrendering through the core of Source in the heart of the sun. And the core of Source in the heart of the moon. Through the originator gates of GAIA. And activating our own unique solar and lunar discs. And surrendering through the galactic center. And the great central sun. You may wish to visualize the galactic center within the pineal gland, our gateway to God, the all-seeing and the all-knowing. Inviting you to inhale, exhale with sound, and on the first sound, strengthening and fortifying your own pillar. Oh. On the second one, honoring the seen and unseen realms, the guardians and gatekeepers in the places on the planet where we stand today, as you strengthen your pillar in harmony with the land where you stand. Oh. And one more, and on the next exhalation, let's unify our fields around and through the continental plates of the planetary body. Oh. Let me hand you over to Casey to continue our opening meditation.
Welcome, everyone. We will just continue to breathe into our central pillars, allowing them to grow bigger and brighter with the energy that we give them. As we come into circle, we become a unified field. And feeling into the space of oneness, we are connected on all planes and all levels. Knowing that through our communications, we see and we speak the same language. Welcoming in all those who wish to support us in the higher realms. All of the elemental beings of air, fire, water, and earth. All of our Apu guardians, all of the rivers, the lakes, the oceans, welcoming in all of those fire beings, welcoming in Gaia herself, the consciousness on all levels, in her ascended form, connecting with us, syncing up our heartbeats with hers, recognizing now the energy of the solar beings, the suns, Solaris, Alcyon, and going out 7 generations, using each one as a portal, taking us closer to our galactic highways, recognizing also the solar beings that wish to come forward, all the planetary bodies surrounding us, holding us in space, welcoming in the galactic tribes of light, all of our star families, our planetary families, our higher selves who exist on all the higher realms, allowing us to have the highest perspective always. Welcoming in the source fields, the fields of love, of oneness, of unity, knowing that we are connected to these fields always, and feeling those higher vibrational tones of creation as we step more fully into our higher level of selves, our creator selves. We become unified with this field, and our reality changes. Recognizing all of our animal allies that we have connected to on the earth plane and in the cosmic realms. Welcoming in the dragon tribes, welcoming in the cetaceans, welcoming in the star children that are yet to come through, that wish to be acknowledged, for whom the earth, the new earth, is created. And they carry a new energy and new vibration. And as we raise ours, we raise the vibration to match theirs, creating a harmony in the field of love, allowing them to be here and to create the new earth with them. Welcoming in the connection of our monadic groups, our first incarnational soul families, that when connected to them, our gifts are amplified, that our missions are able to be complete in this lifetime, and that our contracts with Gaia and the higher realms can take focus. Breathing life into our pillar a little bit more. We will come back to our unified field, yet stay in our individual states, knowing that we are connected on all levels, that our communication is beyond the human form, allowing us to see and feel and hear all that wishes to come forward today, taking it in on the cellular level of the human body. Receiving light as codes, as information, receiving it into our systems, and acting in accordance with that light as it shows up in our field. And from this place of light, information can pass through fully, as we are sponges to it, as it collects in our field, and we bring it inside our columns. anchoring it through our systems and down into Gaia, that it may be received on the collective levels. Understanding that our work is not just individual work. That as we shift and grow, we affect all those around us. As we change and create a new pattern in the system, that pattern can be replicated and repeated globally throughout the planet. That it only takes one change, one instance, one differentiation of the pattern to create something new. And understanding that we are here to change the pattern, change the shape, create new sacred geometry. Following the guidance of our higher selves. As we are in the field of oneness, all things are possible and infinite. Slowly, we will come back to our human bodies, allowing there to be more information to be shared within the group. That each one of us takes part and is able to share what's on their hearts. Breathing into your human self, allowing there to be movement. Feeling the chairs beneath us, our feet on the ground. And when you're ready, open your eyes and come back in.
That was beautiful. Thank you very much, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
I had full body Koyopa truth bumps, particularly in that piece around knowing that our monadic galactic families are here to support us to fulfill our mission on Earth in this lifetime for completion. This is the potential that is open to us in this lifetime and timeline. And it's really beautiful. And I've particularly noticed, partially perhaps because of the big full moon, partially because of my relocation deeper into a natural environment, that the veils have not just been thin this Weizak moon, they are transparent. And particularly emerging through one-on-one meetings this week is choosing very consciously where we're focusing our energy right now. For we are creating instantly, and know that every time we shift, every time we make a quantum leap, so too do the potentials of our timeline. So how do we walk in the world in faith and trust, embodiment, fully in the present moment, and open to quantum leaps in our own embodiment and evolution, in our service, and in the potentials of what we're here to actualize in this earth walk, are really quite profound right now.
Yeah, I'm noticing that we're manifesting super fast, right? And the things that I'm calling in may not show up in just my direct field, but those around me. And it's amazing to see that connection. If I may be asking for something and my kiddo receives something in abundance form, and that was meant for that shared reaction, right? That shared experience. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And also, as you were speaking into the field today, I realized, without realizing until now, that I was given the word emergence for our meeting today, and no other information. And then what became clear in when you were speaking is Guardians of Gaia is being asked to evolve. And perhaps that can be an inquiry on our journey today on what Guardians of Gaia wishes to evolve into, what it wants to become, how it wishes to be structured to optimize the potential of remembering for humanity that every man, woman, and child walking this earth has a responsibility to our host planet. And that's exciting. So we would love to hear any contributions from our circle today. Please. We would love to hear your voice in the circle and be clear and concise on your contributions, because what you share here goes out to so many people. Watching Jonathan look around his room reminds me of being in a school exam when one teacher introduced it and the teacher said, "You may look up for inspiration, down in desperation, but never across for information."
The birds are singing, so there's a lot of birds passing by. That's what I was looking at.
So let us open that query then of what does Guardians of Gaia wish to become?
Leanne, I'm seeing a connection between Guardians of Gaia, the group, and maybe sacred journeys on the earth. And I know that's something you've done in the past, but I'm curious. Almost like family journeys. And I don't know if they're of service or if they're just of remembrance and activations, but it feels like that might be a part of it in the future.
Thanks, Casey. Yeah, it's a piece of the puzzle that we're aware of, and that's why in the new umbrella of Earthwalk Global, where Guardians of Gaia will be accommodated until it becomes its own entity, until it births fully into its own entity. It's shown us that Guardians of Gaia wishes to become a registered charity in Aotearoa in New Zealand. That particular one, when it births, will be based here as a registered charity. And when the website's complete, we will begin a database. And in that database, people will be able to fill in the details of their address, and it might just be their country, continent, state, where they likely are. Because in the time to come, it feels like the Guardians of Gaia, the Gaia gatherings, will be both live and online events where communities will gather at certain points on the planet simultaneously. So it's going to be interesting how all of that wants to unfold. And it feels like we'll be building community for the next 18 months or so. So by 2026, and know that this timeline may shift and change as well, But currently, on the current timeline, 2026 will be when we start having facilitated gatherings all over the planet where people will come together simultaneously on the ley lines, the pathways, and the intersecting points of the planetary system.
It feels important that maybe that's why we're globally connected, that each one of us is like a representation of that, of like a pillar of light to kind of hold the space for those gatherings to take place.
Yeah. It's interesting. There's an interview I will share on the YouTube link and in our WhatsApp group of an interview from a well-known astrologer with a gentleman, a British guy who works with earth energies, and he has been monitoring them and speaking about how the ley lines or the serpent lines or dragon lines through the planet are expanding with these influxes of light energy from our sun, particularly the solar flares that are coming through. And these are actually expanding. He said, to look at them physically, they look like kind of shadow lines illuminating next to the main dragon lines. But what they're doing, they're expanding their capacity and of information and energy traveling through. So I'll pop that one in, which is one thing. And that's relevant to how we're going to consciously collaborate with Gaia, with the planetary body during this evolutionary process. Exciting.
I know that some of the dragon lines are shifting as the earth shifts and as the more land masses chooses to come from the ocean to be reborn and to be gathered again. The dragon lines are shifting as the territories change. So that will be interesting to kind of watch and see which ones stay and which ones go away, and if they are expanded in a bigger state after that.
And as you speak into that, what I'm seeing is because we in our physical bodies are the microcosm of the macrocosm, this is how our physical bodies, when in harmony with the earth, will expand their capacity to carry more light quota within them, and for more light quota to flow through the energy body and our human bodies. Wow.
Jonathan and I this week, we did an alignment out in the Galactic Center. And we connected to a galactic superhighway, like a wormhole, that led out to all the solar systems. For me, it looked like a tree of life with the roots expanding one way and then the branches expanding another, going into all the different galaxies and solar systems. And when we connected to that wormhole, it felt like our own ability to expand was increased exponentially just by connecting to that space.
It's really interesting because when I tune into that journey with you both, it feels as though it needed two of you to go on the journey.
Yeah, it felt like it had codes for each one of us, that we needed each other to be able to unlock some of that for each other.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And it emphasizes the importance of community right now. That we have these circles to evolve with and reflect through, so that we too may determine what is true. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels important to have this space to be able to have the experience of working with a group consciousness, and to sort of practice being in that space, both with each other as a collective, but then, I mean, when we're, Casey, you're doing this sort of connection to Gaia and the cosmic realms, and inviting in the other beings to be able to, be in circle and start to move in that way. I mean, maybe for me, it's more just that is new. But as we develop that capacity to be able to work collectively, and the fact that we're at different points of the earth feels really important.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Wonderful to hear your voice and receive your input and feel the shift that you've embodied in the last week. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else have any contributions to the circle and to, it may be from your experience, and it may be what you're tapping into on what Guardians of Gaia wishes to emerge into as this entity goes through the next stage of, I'm still getting incubation. So, gosh, because we've been going May. We started in, I think it was in July. Was it Lionsgate was our first meeting?
Mm.
We're 9 months, actually. We're 9 months into the journey with Guardians of Gaia since we started meeting on once a month last year. So that's quite interesting. So we're 9 months through the gestation period, and Guardians of Gaia is being asked to step into another level for the next 9 month period of incubation. And I'll mention it again here. For those that are watching the recording and wish to continue to be a part of this circle, we welcome you and invite you to share your WhatsApp numbers with us so that we can add you to the WhatsApp group, which is where our meetings will be. Reminders will come through. All of the recordings will still be shared publicly. However, the circle that is gathering will come through the WhatsApp group. Anything else? Yesterday, I invested 3 hours in a YouTube recording of an interview with Terrence Howard. And those of you who have probably watched some action big screen movies might know who Terrence Howard was as an actor. And for really interesting circumstances, he left the acting world, reconnected with his soul or higher self, who has reminded him who he is, why he came here, and what his role is. And he's recently patented 96 patents of our ancient future technology. And it's really exciting that he couldn't bring it out because he tried until he had everything patented. And now it is that he's exploring the next evolution of our technology, which is what we've known has been brewing. And this is like the first emergence of it into an actualization that can take its next stage into manufacturing and into free energy devices. And it's pretty amazing. So I'll also share that at the bottom of the recording today so that people can explore. And I
was just going to say, I watched that this morning. I love the part where he talked about how he believes that all planets are birthed from the sun in each solar system, almost like the CMEs coming off of the sun itself and then gathering all of the other particles around them as they come into formation, instead of just the idea of like the Big Bang. It was fascinating.
Yeah, it was fascinating. And also the part about Earth's location from the sun enables Earth to be a habitable planet at the moment. And in millions of years from now, when Earth moves out of that distance from the sun and is no longer habitable, Venus will be coming into the distance from the sun that makes Venus an habitable planet. So it's really fascinating work, groundbreaking work, and challenging to the status quo and understanding of reality. So it's really mind expanding and really exciting in what potentials are available to us now. And it emphasizes the fact that we're not here to fight the old, we're here to birth the new. And by feeding our consciousness into birthing the new, the old will naturally disintegrate, because that is the law of nature, of evolution, and of vibrational frequency.
And it's that same theme of like, this is a lifetime where we get to complete our mission. I remember him saying something that he had that sense of urgency even inside the womb, that this was the lifetime that he was going to bring the information forward, which is fantastic.
So yeah, that'll be some really interesting weekend remembering for people who want to explore.
This is just a reminder that we're still like in that Stargate portal. So like time and space is wonky, but also the opportunity for those big quantum shifts are around us if we want to take them, right? So that energy of the cosmic kind of superhighway is open right now for things to shift and change rapidly around you. So these are always my favorite times.
They are, although we were given the word emergence for today, it's really important that everyone listens deeply when to take their first step out of the cocoon. Because I woke up this morning thinking, it's still quite a still point for me. And for me personally, my still points feels like it will continue through until beginning of July. So I'm up in my nature retreat, and then I'm going deeply in for a 2-week Ayurveda retreat, and out the other side of integration. And it feels like my emergence comes in July. So what's important is to be attuned to self and to honor whatever stage you are in your own process of evolution. Don't hold on too tight to reality or to any timelines if you are completely open to the evolution, and rather finding one's center, soul-led truth, and synergy with our planetary host is more important than ever.
The image that the guides are giving me for the emergence is not just one butterfly, but like thousands of golden butterflies all taking flight at the same time.
Yeah. It's really beautiful, and it's curious because a wonderful guardian, one of the first, I'd say, actual embodied in-service guardians of Gaia I ever met, Raylene, who lives in Australia, has just been in Bali with 2 groups consecutively. And it feels like their walk for the last month is very interconnected with our journey to Bali, Indonesia in June. It feels like their walk has been very much interconnected with the land, the people, and the elementals of Bali. And in preparation to receive the next level of galactic connection. Connection, no, recalibration.
The guide, they're saying the word harmonic fields, recalibration in the harmonic fields.
For those who are not aware, Bali is where our major planetary dragon lines intersect. And it's also known as the purification point on our planet. So a lot of people go there consciously for purification, others who might unconsciously also be going there for purification. And Bali has many gifts of all the elements and many sacred holy waters and spring waters and warm waters from this volcanic archipelago. I'm getting there's something we have to address right now. It's stuck in my solar plexus. And it's a planetary piece. For Indonesia. It's interesting, it's got to do something with mining. And maybe we'll just invite everybody to stand strong in their pillars. Universal Federation Light, please overlight security be on standby. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 galactics here in breach of universal law, free will and choice. We're siphoning off gold. Gold and water are the 2 commodities on our planet that are often most sought after by off-planetary entities. So we'd like to remove all infrastructure and architecture of first dual carriageway of galactics 1 and 2. Guardians and gatekeepers, mission complete, contract delete, return to source of origin, handing over to security, universal federation, like procedures and protocols, eviction, evacuation. And next dual carriageway, galactics 3 and 4, removing all infrastructure and architecture. And Guardians and gatekeepers, mission complete, contract delete, return to source of origin, handing over to security, universal federation, like procedures and protocols, eviction, evacuation. It is done, and so it is.
Does that location pertain only to Bali? I'm seeing other locations having that siphoning happening as well.
Yeah, that wasn't even in Bali, actually. But it was on the Indonesian archipelago. Yeah.
Will that be related to last night? Because something happened last night. I was doing the fire ceremony and stuff, and everything was gone. It's like my gift got gone completely. Everything got disconnected at one point. I think it's related to what you're talking about. There's something that happened last night, and fire was connected, and yeah, I've never felt that before.
That feels like it might be something in your own system, Jonathan. Yeah. Mm. Interesting. But that feels like it's cleared now through the it's clear through the Indonesian archipelago and the other places where those galactics were operating. And it's interesting. In our last gathering, I showed you the map of where I'd been working with the triangular points on the planet. That has continued for the last 2 weeks. It's not every night, but when they're ready to come online and get turned back on, they have been. Mm. Mm.
As you were speaking about that siphoning, my dragon aspect got really fiery. It seems like it's an old theme, right? To have to defend the gold and like the treasure on the planet.
Oh. Mm. For some reason we haven't completed yet. There's more about the theme of siphoning gold and water off Gaia that needs to end. When I look at it, it's got to do with information transfer that takes place through water. And the conduit that gold is for energy transference. It's interesting because now it's coming up in the back of the heart space. Mm-hmm. So let's just come into our pillars again and see what needs to unpack from here. Universal Federation Light, please overlight security be on standby. We have 4 galactics here in breach of universal law, free will and choice. And these ones are in South America, removing all infrastructure and architecture of first 2 galactics. Guardians and gatekeepers, mission complete, contract delete, return to source of origin, handing over to security, universal federation, like procedures and protocols, eviction and evacuation. Galactics 3 and 4, removing all infrastructure and architecture. Guardians and gatekeepers, mission complete, contract delete, return to source of origin, handing over to security, universal federation-like procedures and protocols, eviction and evacuation. It is done.
Leanne, is there a Nibiru connection?
Yeah. It's interesting. That's your understanding that it's all getting siphoned off through. It's like Nibiru's the bank, and then people can buy it from Nibiru, but Nibiru's the one that's been like the holding port of a lot of this. We have to do anything. We're complete now. Yeah. Wow. There we go. Is there anything else anybody would like to ask or contribute to the field before we close our journey for today?
I would just like to say thank you. And it's beautiful to be amongst this group. And yeah, I appreciate you guys and grateful for all of it, these gatherings and what we bring. For me, I had a big shift earlier, well, near the end of last week. And then early this week, I had a session and I've been very inward with that. And it's required a lot of grounding and inwardness. So I don't really feel to express much today. I just feel, yeah, just sitting in the energy. But yeah, grateful for Guardians of Gaia. Happy to be a part of it and contribute in whatever way I can, and always get a lot from the gatherings and what you guys bring through. And yeah, I feel very passionate about group gatherings and the importance of them, and really resonate with what you're sharing about that. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you to your dedication to self and service, and for honoring your integration period. For those periods of integration when we make big shifts are just as important, if not more important, than the shift itself. For if we don't integrate it, the change doesn't land. So beautiful. Thank you. Would you like to lead us through the closure, Casey?
Of course. As we come together to give thanks for the field of this connection time within the family circle of the units becoming one and the shared information to flow from one into many, our hearts are opened. Having the codes been received on all layers and all levels, we give gratitude and thanks for the higher realms for support and participation in the circle, knowing that our circle is amplified, doubled in size, tripled in size with all of our supporters from the unseen realms, that we are never alone, we are always supported, that in our journeys and our human walks, we walk with an entourage and not just as a single unit. And with this connection, connected to the Guardians of Gaia, to the soul family, our wants and needs are made known to the group. That through our connection, We can be any place on the planet and still have that unified field, that heart field of connection and oneness. Thanking Gaia herself for the support that we feel from her gigantic heart space, and her connection of light and love always. We will come back into our individual pillars, allowing us to go out into our human journeys and have more density in our human selves, that we may function on all layers and levels in a solidified form, not feeling connected and energetically tied to the circle anymore. Coming back to your own spaces and places, breathing life back into your human self, anchoring into your human body, and giving gratitude for this journey today. Allowing movement to come in, wiggling your fingers and your toes, breathing deeply into your heart and your lungs. And when you are ready, opening your eyes and coming all the way back in.
Thank you, Casey. And as we return fully intact onto the earth plane, thank you all for your presence. Those that are with us now, those who have yet to connect through our recording. And just a reminder to extend the invitation to join us through the WhatsApp group in your own community circles. Be in touch if you wish to be added to that group. And also to let you know that we're all offering one-on-one support with soul embodiment and evolution. And you can get in touch with us individually for that support if you would like, directly with Casey, Olga, or myself. And otherwise, I wish you all well. Go and enjoy some time in nature this weekend. And listen deeply to your soul from the source field. And may you be guided into your highest possible embodiment and service, love and joy through this incarnation. Much love, everyone. And till we meet again in 2 weeks' time, which will be my last meeting with you from Aotearoa before I relocate to Bali. And I look forward to it.